How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. As you can see, my hair is a bit of a mess, and that is because today I am trying out the Babyliss 12-in-1 curler adapter thingy-majig. I don't really know what to call it because it is a wand of many talents. As you will see throughout the video, I will show you each compartment and what each bit does. I will test it section by section on my hair. You have such a massive variety. It's a 12-in-1, but there's so many little things you can do to kind of like tweak the curl. So in all honesty, you get more than 12-in-1. But enough of me rambling, let's get into the video. So one positive about this is that you can pack it into like a small bag, so it's all neat and tidy, so you haven't got wires and bits and bobs everywhere. The first thing you get in a bag is some more of these clips. I mean, not a lot to say about them. They're just normal hair clips. You've probably got loads of them anyway. The main thing in the box is the main attachment. I don't know what else to call it because it, like it says, it does everything. So it's like that, quite tiny. Along with the main adapter bit, you get one straightening attachment, crimper attachment, and another crimper attachment, but it's also got a straightening bit, so straightener one side, crimper the other, so then you could decide whether you want it to be a straightener or a crimper, or a bit of both. So that's cool. Then you get 3 barrel curling ones. So as you can see, you've got in the middle is a 13mm, then you've got a 16mm, and then the bigger one is a 19mm. I hope I got that right. With those, if you do use them on their own, you do have oh, a bit of fluff on there somehow. Go away. You do have this little clippy bit, which is the little clamp that holds your hair if you want to do it like that. Personally, I don't really use the clamps because I find it leaves like a dent in your hair. But for those who do, it's quite cool. So as you can see, they don't have the clamp, and then it does attach. I'll show you anyway in a minute, but yeah, so that's really, really handy. And then the 2 like barrel attachments, you have got like a brush type one, and then you've got like a swivel type one. I will be honest with this set, the booklet that comes with it isn't the most helpful. It does have obviously information on each section, but then I was spent about 15 minutes trying to figure out how to make it a crimper or a straightener, because it doesn't tell you in the book how to actually attach this thing onto one of these, so you kind of have to figure it out for yourself, which is a good thing I'm making this video, because if you've got one of these and don't know how to do it, I'm going to show you right now. What I will do is I'll do the video but just trying it all out, and then I will do close-ups of the attachments being put together to kind of show you in a bit more depth. Firstly, I'm going to start with the crimper section. Got a little on switch here, as you can see the light flashing up here. I will be using my viewfinder because I haven't really got a desk in front of me with a mirror, so I'm going to have to use my viewfinder to kind of see what I'm doing. Yeah, it doesn't really say in the book when I know it's ready, so I'm just going to kind of give it a few minutes to warm up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a bit of my hair with each section, and I have work after this, so I'm going to go into work looking absolutely ridiculous, but hey ho. While it's heating up, I'll just say a few positives about this that I've noticed so far. The first positive is that it's a swivel cord, which is really, really handy, because if you're going, you know, here, there and everywhere, it does move around with it, don't get stuck, which is amazing for straighteners and all that. The next thing about it is it goes up to 200 degrees, which is really good for my hair because I find that heat is like perfect. However, you don't really have the option to change it, which people with thinner hair, you might not want it to be as hot, but you don't really have an option. So that kind of sucks. Gonna take this little section here. Okay, I guess you just go down it bit by bit and squeeze it as you go. And it's not really obvious, but I think that's what I quite like about it. Compared to the other side, you can see there's a bit more texture here. And with this as well, it's because you can decide how hard you like push it down. So I'm guessing the harder you push it, the more crinkled it's going to be, and the more times you go over it, the more crinkled it's going to be. As you can see there, that's crinkled up a lot more. I think it's quite cute. One thing I will say is when you're changing attachments, I mean, you're probably not going to do it as I am, like changing them, you know, around quite a lot to kind of show you, but it is very, very hot. I changed it from the crimple effect to the straightener, so what I had to do is turn one of those around, and as you guess, it's very, very hot. So just keep that in mind if you are changing between. What I'm going to do now is a bit that I crimped, I thought, why don't I try straightening it and see how good the straightener works. Okay, as you can see, the crinkles aren't coming out, but then again, I don't think they are easy to come out anyway, regardless of what straightener you use. But despite that, this straightener is doing a really good job. That straightener is amazing. My hair still feels really soft and silky. Don't feel dry. It's hard to tell with the straightener because my hair is pretty much straight already, but just try and take my word for it that it is really good. That is now 2 ways I've showed you how to use this. So you've got the straightener and you've got the crimper. I don't know if another way you can use this is by, as you can see, the thicker side here is the one with the attachment. I don't know whether if you spin that round so you have one half is straightener and the other half crinkled, I don't know if that gives some kind of other effect. So we're back with the basics again. I'm going to go in with the 13mm first. Using one of these like I showed you earlier, so you plock that into the other side and then you push it together so it becomes one handle, and then you could press down the little lever which will then grip your hair. I don't know if that counts as another way to do this, so maybe that's what it means by 12 in 1. Really good thing about the curling wands is that it's got this black section up here, and that section always stays quite cool, it doesn't get hot, so as you're doing it, you know, your hair around, you can hold on to that section whilst you hold it in place if you aren't using the clip thing. So I guess that's another alternative, which I think it's really, really clever. It's a really good idea. What I'm going to do is take this section again. I'm going to go in and do it about halfway down, keep it flat and even as possible. Round and around. My hair's a bit long. But yeah, as you can see, then you can just hold that section there. I'm going to do it for about 10 seconds. And voila! That is pretty cute. I will try it with the little lever thing, just to show and to use it as like I said, I don't know whether this is another way you can do it. Do the bottom bit here and then you just roll it up. Try and roll it up so it's quite even. These 2 sections I just done with the same attachment, which is the 13mm. As you can see, this top section here is what I used with the clamp, and this section here I didn't. There's not a lot of difference. I guess it is down to personal preference, whether you like to do it twisting it out like that or you like to just wrap it around and hold it. So there's 2 ways to do it, but I do believe that this section here is a lot tighter than the other section. So I don't know if using it with a clamp makes it more of a tighter curl, or if that was just down to the fact that it went all up to my head and I'd done it a lot tighter. So again, very impressed with that. But moving on to the 16mm, as you can see, it's just slightly bigger, which creates more of a wave type effect rather than the tight ringlets. So that'll be quite interesting. What I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to do it using just this. Then I'm going to use it with the little lever just to show the 2 different ways. In a small section again, about 1 inch, and I'm just going to wrap it around like I did the first time. Oh, I want to wrap it away from the face. Don't know what I was doing there. Trying to keep it flat as possible. And then I'm going to drop it in and just hold that curl for a second. This time I left it on for 30 seconds rather than like 10 or 15. This is the effect that this one gives. As you can see with this one, it is a lot looser, a lot more wavy. There's not really much of a curl there. It is just more just giving a bit of definition to your hair. And it's got a bit of volume. You could brush it out a little bit, I suppose. And then, yeah, as you can see, it is more of a wave compared to the smaller section, which is a bit more of a ringlet curl. But like I said, I will try it out with the little lever. So I'm just going to take a little bit from back here. We'll just go up here a little bit. And obviously, like with all curlers, the smaller sections you take, the more defined the curl or the wave is going to be. So keep all that in mind. Don't just go on how my hairs come out. I find whenever I curl my hair, every time it always looks different because every time you do it a slightly bit tighter or a slightly bit looser. And I have found using this lever, it hasn't left like an indent in my hair, which I'm very, very impressed with because usually it does. Using the lever on this side definitely made a massive difference compared to without the lever. As you can see, it's turned into more of a defined curl. Again, it's still looser than the other curls because obviously the barrel is bigger. But if you compare the both sections, let me remove the rest of my hair because that's just going to put you off. Yeah, if you put it next to both the sections, you can definitely see a difference. So it appears with the 60mm barrel, depending on if you use a lever or not, you can either get some looser curls or a very defined wave. But with the 30mm, you can either get ringlet type curls or slightly looser, but there's not a lot of difference in using the lever and that. But again, like I repeated so many times, the tighter you do it, the tighter the curl is going to be. The next type of curl I want to create is using a double barrel. So I don't know what kind of effect this is going to give. Looking at it, probably quite a loose beachy wave. I couldn't tell you for sure because, like I said, the booklet doesn't explain a lot. Pretty much I'm winging this. My hair is going to look ridiculous at the end of this, but please ignore it. With this, obviously, as you can see, you can't use the lever because both of these barrels have connected in. I don't know whether to intertwine it in between or just do it all over. I might as well try both and we'll just see what happens. Taking a small section again. I guess this will give the effect of a very large barrel. Maybe like a 30mm, I don't know, I'm not like a hair curling expert. As you probably guessed with these curlers, it is a lot of trial and error. Okay, I'm going to hold it up because I find that this does help quite a lot. So I'm just going to hold it in my hand and kind of see if that gives it more of a defined curl. But like I said, I think this is just going to create some kind of wave more than anything. Okay, definitely came out a lot better that time. That is kind of curl I would probably wear. And again, you can kind of tossle it out so it creates slight wave. You still got the crinkled effect in there, which I don't know where that's come from because I didn't crinkle that part of my hair, so I don't know if that's just the kind of texture it gives, but I dig it. Yeah, I really do like this kind of curl. This is more of a me curl because I prefer it to be a lot looser. Going in with the same wand again, like I said, I'm going to intertwine it. So yeah, this is kind of what's happened. I have a feeling this isn't one of the effects or the methods you should do because it's quite dangerous. I kind of almost burnt myself, and it's a lot trickier than it looks, but I kind of gave it a go, so we'll see. Alright then, it kind of worked. Like I said, I don't know whether that was even a method you're supposed to do, or I don't really know what kind of curl this is, but it seems to be bigger from the top and smaller down the bottom. I don't know if maybe that is the way to do it. You start at the bigger barrel and then you go to the little one, but you know, the world's your oyster. You play about with it, you do whatever you want to do. Whatever works for you, end of the day. The next barrel is the 19mm. As you can see, it's got the two prongs, so then it does take up both sides of the adapter. I'm going to call it the adapter because that's just like the easiest thing to say. So it takes up both sections of the adapter, whereas the other two, you have one either side, and then you can clip them together, which is really clever. So taking the 19mm, again, I'm going to use it without. This one has a lever attached to it, as you can see, much bigger one. I'm going to do it without the lever, and then I'm going to try it with the lever, and then there is two attachments which you attach to 19mm only. That's really important because the other ones are too small. So if you try doing the attachments with the 16mm or the 13mm, it will not stay in place, and if you put your hair around it and it falls off, it's going to be a disaster because you'll end up burning yourself. So just remember, it does say in the booklet as well, that's one thing the booklet does say, is that those are only for the 19mm. Take another section, doing it away from the face as usual. So we are going to try and drop that into my hand and hold that curl. Rocking the Princess Leia kind of look. That is a very pretty curl, as you can see. It's very loose, not much of a ringlet to it at all. Again, you can like tossle that around, and it does turn into a very soft but defined wave. Be nice for like every day if you don't like your hair completely straight. As you can see, the volume in this section here that I have curled with the 19mm is a lot more voluminous than when my hair is just straight. So it doesn't look so flat. Yeah, I really like that. I'm really impressed with that one. I think that's going to be one that I'm going to be using a lot more. As I said, I do prefer the bigger ones. That's what she said. Oh man, I am rocking this look. I use the 19mm. I'm going to be using the clamp. Let's do this. Further down, that's better, and then we can roll it up. Roll, roll, roll. Okay, and then we're just gonna hold it here for a few seconds. Was a farmer had a dog and Bingo was his name. Oh, B-I-N-G-O, 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 and Bingo was his name. Oh, yay. Okay, let's hold that up so it can cool down for a minute. I am very surprised with these colours because I don't really use Babyliss. I usually do get the more expensive brands, which sounds really bad. But I do, because I never really think that Babyliss is going to be decent. And it was Alex who got me these for Christmas. Well, I'm really, really impressed with it. And usually I find like the 2-in-1s or the 12-in-1s or whatever are not very good because it's got to do a lot of things rather than just one, if that makes sense. Okay, so that is using it with the clamp, and as you can see, it is more of a defined curl. Obviously that will fall out in time, so depending on what you do and how tight you do it, each barrel is going to give you a variety of different looks because you don't just get the same look every time. But yeah, as you can see, there's 2 different looks from using the same barrel just by using the clamp. I think the clamp makes the curls a lot tighter because you're able to get a lot more control with it, and you are able to make it a lot tighter and it does stay in place, whereas when you hold it with your hands, sometimes it does loosen. It is hard to tell one section of the hair. Moving on to the bits I'm most excited about is using the 2 attachments. So you've got the hairbrush, I'm going to call it the hairbrush attachment because it reminds me a lot of a hairbrush. And then we've got the swivel. So I'm going to go in with the hairbrush one first. Oh, that one fell on the floor. With the hairbrush one, you put it on, push it down halfway, which goes over the clamp. But then once you get to a certain point, the clamp gets smaller, as you can see here. Take off so I can show you. As you can see, the whole clamp, this goes on over the top, down, little clamp comes up, push it down a bit further, and that little clamp will just hold it in place. From what I've worked out, this attachment, as it's like it's similar to the brush you would use, like a round brush when you blow dry your hair. So I think the point of this one is to create more volume. I didn't really see how this like brush adapter thing is really gonna make a difference to the curl. I'm gonna be really gutted if these 2 attachments don't work because I'd be most excited to try them out because they just look really interesting. So far I've been really impressed with all the attachments and stuff. Okay. I mean that's what really happened. I mean yeah, it's a bit more voluminous. Again, I could be using it wrong. Maybe this is more for like the roots to give your roots a bit more of a boost. Yeah, I'm not overly impressed with that attachment. Maybe if I play about it a little bit more, I might understand it a bit better. The final one we have is the spiral. So I'm going to attach that the same as I attached the other one. I have a bad feeling this one's going to turn out the same. I'm going to use the clamp, I think. I don't mind using the clamp with this one because I feel like it is going to work better. But with the other one, your hair sticks to the bristles quite a lot. So I was a bit afraid that if I'd done the clamp as well, my hair is going to literally knot up and end up burning. So that is why I didn't really want to use the clamp with that one. But as you can see, the hair places quite nicely in this one. Unclamp it and just pull it down. Oh, okay, I really like that. I'm really, really impressed with that curl. Again, you can always tousle it to give it a bit more of like a looser effect. You can put hairspray in it or texture spray, you know, whatever you do to it will give a different effect. Well, there we go, that is my review and mini tutorial on the Babyliss 12-in-1 curler adapter. That's just the name I've now made up for it. I would highly recommend it, and I think it retails at like £35.99 or £30.99, depending where you get it from. I'm not 100% sure. I will link it down below where you can get it from, and I'll probably put the price on the screen because I'm sure I got it wrong. So for the price, it is insane. I was very disappointed with only one adapter, which was the Bristol adapter. But then again, I could have done it wrong. Who knows? You can achieve so many looks with all these adapters. It is a 12-in-1. I'm not sure if I showed you 12 ways to use it, or I showed you more or less. But if you fiddle around with it, you can put so many together. You could probably create more, depending on what products you use as well, or how long you keep it in, what size sections you use. Whatever you do, the curls are going to look different no matter what. So you have a massive variety. I've given you my full honest opinion here because this is the first time I tried it out, so it is my first impressions. I wouldn't do it all over like this, as you can see. I would stick to one adapter and do all over my hair, which I might do them in the future. If you want to see those, or would let me try out a certain adapter, leave a comment down below and let me know what one you want to see and what kind of, like, if you want me to do some kind of hair tutorial with it. I would love to do that. I'd love to try them out like properly, not just in sections. But yeah, all my links are down below, so don't forget to check out all my social medias, give the video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. A little disclaimer in and a bit of a self-promo on the end. I have mentioned recently I've created a blog based on anxiety and depression and my journey through my antidepressants. I would love if you can check the blog out and give it a bit of love, because I've just been completely honest and personal in my blog, and my aim is to kind of help others going through kind of like what I'm going through and what I went through. So yeah, check that out. Like I said, that'll be linked down below along with everything else. And one more sneaky little self promo is over on my boyfriend's channel, which will be linked down below. We are playing Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. We're doing like a walkthrough, so at the moment we've got like 3 parts up. We're playing it together, so go over there and show him a bit of love. Subscribe to his channel if you want to see some gaming type videos, because he works really hard, and yeah, go over and show him a bit of love, and I'll see you next time.